world of YPI finals. My name is Pin.
And I'm Grace, and we'll be your MCs for tonight.
Last year, Grace and I, along with our group mates, Sam Miller and Jasper Modershed, won the YPI program for our selected charity, Nourish Cowichan.
I remember that day like it was yesterday. All the highs and lows YPI put us through. And we're so proud of all the effort that all the grade 9s have put in this year, whether you're backstage or in the audience.
And now, Grace and I are back to host the finals. And we'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement, so if everybody could please stand up.
We acknowledge and thank the Coast Salish people on whose traditional territory Brentwood College School resides on. We value the opportunity to learn, live, and share educational experiences on this traditional territory.
You may be seated. And now we have Mr. Doler with a message from the teachers.
The message from the teachers. It's amazing to have been involved with this now for 4 years, I think it is, and the school's been doing this for 14 or 15 years. And I'm going to be brief and just share with you on behalf of the 6 of us that are the Meta team that it's amazing. This project is incredible in the conversations that we get to overhear in the classroom. All right, and the things that we're hearing are students knowing about things they probably wouldn't ever have looked into in their local environment, their local backyard. But more so, conversations like, okay, how can we get the audience, how can we get the judges to really care and really know that this is important, with lots of emphasis, and doing the research and all the hard work and the legwork to do that, and try to make their pitch visceral. And that's not an easy task to do. And in a world that is more connected than ever, but in some ways more disconnected than ever, we tend to look inwards in the groups that we belong to. This project, where we have a chance to go and look at those that are less fortunate than us, and the organizations that support them, and realize that there's an opportunity to stand up and to engage and really feed that sense of empathy and better the community and better the world. And that's what this project's all about. And hopefully, that sense of empathy, that sense of community is something that will last. And that's the purpose behind this whole project, which started in Canada and has spread around to a number of other countries around the world. So on behalf of the teachers, I want to thank all the students in grade 9 this year, and we've got a number of students that have were with us in previous years for all the hard work. It's not an easy task, and there's a few things that might scare you, like cold calling a charity and saying, hey, could we come and visit? We'd like to find out more. But that's important. And it's a skill that hopefully you'll take with you and continue to share for the rest of your life. So on behalf of the teachers, we want to thank everybody that put the hard work in. Lots of you are sitting there, but 5 groups are up here to make the final pitch to our judges at the back. So let's get this started, all right?
I'm back. Thank you, Mr. Doler, for that message. So a summary of tonight, we have 5 groups backstage, and they'll come on, they'll do their presentations, and then we'll have the judges exit the theater and then go make their choice about who's the winners, and then we'll have a video casted during that time, and then the judges will return and they'll announce the winner. So without further ado, let the presentations commence.
Our first group of the night is proudly representing their charity, Threshold Housing.
Hi, I'm Kieran.
I'm Alita.
And I'm Anderson.
Do you have a place that you call home? A place where you feel safe, secure, and accepted? As Brentonians, we are fortunate enough not to only have one, but 2. One here at Brentwood and one where we're from. But not everyone has this privilege. There are over 150 million people worldwide who suffer from homelessness each year, and another 1.6 million who are living in inadequate housing.
Across Canada, homelessness affects around 240,000 Canadians.
40,000 of which are youths. This means that 1 in 6 Canadians are youths. Toronto and Vancouver are the major centers where homelessness is the most visible, but it's everywhere, even in smaller communities. British Columbia alone has a homeless population of 8,500 people, 2,000 of which are across Vancouver Island. In BC particularly, there's a lack of affordable housing, and because of COVID, many businesses were forced to shut down. This means people cannot pay their rent, people lost their jobs, and people cannot support their families. Not to mention, many homeless ended up sick or even dead because of lack of available shelters and resources. This is simply unacceptable.
Many shelters offered vaccines for the homeless, but this was not a priority, even though they're the most vulnerable. Let's take this issue even more local. Even in Duncan alone, over 130 people were identified in the street. This is not even counting the hidden homeless or the ones in shelters. Despite the popular portrayal of homelessness in the media, not all people become homeless because of addictions. While addiction is a major contributor, tragic accidents, disabilities, loss of employment, family separation, domestic violence, mental or physical illness, and the child welfare system are all common causes. Another stereotype is that all homeless people are on the streets. This is simply not the case. Hidden homelessness is a huge issue, mostly occurring in youths. What this means is that kids are staying on couches with extended family members or even in their cars.
You may be wondering, why is this an issue? This is a major problem because these kids do not have support. We here at Brentwood have a vast support system, whether it be our friends, parents, teachers, advisors, or even professional counselors. This is a privilege not afforded to everyone, though, especially those who need it the most.
This is why the Threshold Housing Society is so important. They provide a safe space where youth can safely recover and learn independence. We want to show a short clip of the former President of Ireland, Mary McAleese, speaking about homelessness that we believe perfectly captures Threshold's main ideals.
Now we see that in fact that notion of a person has no home, give them a home. It's their potential when it is removed by all the downstream consequences of homelessness. Now you see that in fact that notion.
This Housing First initiative mentioned in the video is what has allowed other countries such as Finland to essentially eradicate homelessness. This is also the same initiative Threshold is using. But before we detail the inner workings of the charity, we want to tell you how it started.
Founded in March 1990, the Threshold Housing Society was founded by a small group of Anglican parishioners who saw a need in their community and felt a call to address that need. They became an officially certified charity by the Canadian Revenue Agency in 1997. Originally, the Threshold Housing Society's aim was to help families and adults at risk of homelessness, but as the charity grew, the number of homeless youth grew with it. They decided to switch gears and help homeless youth, a group who consistently went unrecognized. Their original goal was to create a safe and supportive space.
Not only have they accomplished this goal, but they are continuing to extend their reach in the community and help as many as they can with their current resources. First, a small group of people trying to make a change. Now, they have 36 full-time employees, 30 of which are hands-on, either working in the houses or in youth engagement. The other 6 work in administration, the business side of the charity.
As for volunteers, Threshold has to be very careful about who they expose the youth to, so the number is not high. In total, there are around 65 volunteers per year, 40 for events and promotions, 10 to 15 trusted volunteers who routinely visit the houses, and Threshold's board of 9 volunteers.
When interviewing Shannon Whistle, the Director of Development, she said that while she had only been there a short time, she saw how much the employees there care for the youth and how impactful they are in their lives. She explained that the Threshold Housing Society has an excellent reputation in the nonprofit sector, as well as the community for a number of reasons, some being that they are very values-focused, innovative, and well-managed.
Shannon also said something that really stuck with our group. They, Threshold, don't think they know everything. but they want to know everything. This shows that Threshold is a charity focused on continuing to grow and learn, which is so important when dealing with an issue that is constantly expanding and changing.
At this point, you're more than likely asking yourself, now that we know how the charity works, what does it actually do? We want to take you through the process as if you're a youth applying to the Threshold Housing Society. 2/3 of the youth at Threshold come from child welfare system, but they also come from referrals, or they get information from the brochures that Threshold distributes to local middle and high schools.
Once you find your way to the Threshold Housing Society, you do an assessment to see what your situation is and what your needs are. There are more youths in need of housing than there are units available, so many youths end up on wait lists.
Threshold has 3 different houses you can be put into. The original property purchased by Threshold was Forest House. Currently, it is being redeveloped from a 4-plex to a 17-unit to provide more space for the youth. At first, you will be put into supported living program. There, you will have adult supervision 24/7 and a caretaker always on site. The houses are run like a family where everyone cooks, cleans, etc. together. The houses help teens become part of the community, and the reason they have so much emphasis on this is because 2/3 of the people there are from foster care and have had bad experiences in the system. In these houses, it can hold up to 20 people. However, each person will get their own suite for a sense of independence. The suites contain a bedroom, bathroom, and a kitchen area.
There are multiple suites in a house, so in total, Threshold currently supports 55 youth. All youths have to pay some rent to give them the incentive to get back on their feet and support themselves. You will be put into a recovery program if you have mental illness or substance abuse issues. Shannon mentioned how she had seen some youth go from deep levels of depression to thriving and attending college.
As for substance abuse issues, the Threshold Housing Society takes a harm reduction approach, which lets the youth continue using whatever they are taking, but ensures they continue working towards a recovery or a healthier lifestyle. You may be thinking, why let them continue to use harmful substances?
Studies actually show that abstinence-first approach keeps people from seeking help, especially those who need it the most. But when you are ready for more independence, you will be moved to the independent living program. You'll still have someone check in on you, but you are no longer living in one of the houses. Instead, you are renting affordable housing.
The reason Threshold does not place the youth into affordable housing straight away is because they don't want to give them the support. They want to give them the support and care the youth need to get back onto their feet. There may also be some trauma from how the youth ended up homeless or their time being homeless, so Threshold lets them heal first. They do not have a time limit on how much time you can be there, so you can stay until you're up to 25. This is why there are currently about 8 youths exiting the program per year.
Threshold lets you take your time and supports you until the point where you are recovered and independent. In total, there have been over 350 youths helped through Threshold's program who went on to thrive in life.
But how do we know what Threshold does actually works?
We know that the Threshold program works because of many testimonies, such as the story of Miles Winter. Miles was a young boy, like the age of many Brentwood students, but he was not in the same situation as us. Miles and his dad were living in roach-infested motels and struggling to find work and a home. A lot of low-income housing would not accept them.
Miles was forced to live on the couches of his friends when his dad got a new place to live that did not accept children. He was not helped because he was a hidden case of homelessness. Eventually, Miles had had enough and fled to Threshold. There, he learned a lot of very important skills like learning to clean, cook, and has even attended school.
How does Threshold manage all this is what we keep asking ourselves. Luckily, they have many different sponsors supporting all different aspects of the charity. Involved in purely funding, there is the Ministry for Children and Family Development, Island Health, independent donors, corporate partners, and the Home Depot Orange Door campaign, to name a few. There are also sponsors like Coast Capital Savings, which help in ways like giving financial literacy training and setting up bank accounts for the youth.
Even with the funding Threshold receives, $5,000 can really help their cause. Immediately, the charity would be able to hire a counselor full-time in the houses instead of just 3 days a week, impacting all of the youth coming in and out of Threshold for years to come.
Threshold is centered around recovery, whether that be from mental health or addictions. So this additional support would go to the core of their values. If the money did not go to the counselor, it would end up going to the redevelopment of the fourplex. With more units available, more youths will be able to enter the program, and the number Threshold will be able to help will greatly increase.
But how can you help? Well, the easiest way is simply to donate. While donating just $1 doesn't seem like it would do much, it can actually add up very fast. For example, if all of us at this school were just to donate $1, it would be enough to feed 4 youths for an entire month.
Another option is to volunteer. Due to the pandemic, a lot of charities are understaffed and need our help. Just a few weeks ago, there was an opportunity for volunteers to come and help for a Christmas fundraiser. Volunteering can make a big difference, not just in the lives for the people you help, but for yourself as well. Studies show that people who volunteer are more likely to be more successful and happier.
The last thing you could do to help is simply being present at Threshold's events or advocating for homeless youth. Listening and learning still makes a difference.
Before we leave you today, we would like to say one last thing. If there's only one thing you take away from this presentation, let it be this. Homeless people are still people. The mistreatment and trauma that they've endured is unacceptable, and they deserve help just as much as any one of us.
Think of the video we showed earlier, or imagine it was you and your loved ones suffering. The support and Threshold provides to these young people, people like us, except in different circumstances, is unparalleled. Threshold has supported them, and now it is our turn to support the Threshold Housing Society. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Threshold Housing, for that excellent and very informative presentation.
Now please welcome our next group, Cowichan Green Community.
Good evening, everyone. I hope your day's been going well. My group, Ryder, Janisha, Tommy, and I, Ainsley, are here to present our group's chosen charity, Cowichan Green Community.
Raise your hand if you've ever been grocery shopping, getting your favorite snacks, and when the cashier rings out everything, you end up being surprised by the price. After that, you most likely just use your card, and by 9 p.m. that night, you have totally forgotten about how much you've just spent.
Unfortunately, this isn't the case for everyone. Food insecurity is a dreadful issue that is extremely prevalent across the globe. Food insecurity is when a person consumes less than 1,800 calories a day. The majority of food insecurity is caused by low income and can be augmented by armed conflict, climate crisis, and food scarcity.
1/7 of the population is experiencing food insecurity right now. Even worse, 5 million children die each year from malnutrition. These children are gone even before they start their first year of school. Malnutrition is defined as having impaired nutrition intake or deficiency in nutrients. Nutrients come from berries, fruits, vegetables, or any other produce. These are basic dietary needs, and these children can't get them.
In Canada, in 2021, 5.8 million people lived in food insecure homes. Out of those 5.8 million people, 1.4 million were children. In Canada, a first world country, 1.4 million children couldn't get the basic nutrients needed to survive.
If numbers continue on the same path, that means there'll be at least a 5% increase in food prices. Canadians are expected to pay an extra $966 a year, money that could be put towards bills, rent, dentist office visits, and more. It would be a choice between heat and food, a choice between a home and food, and a choice between health and food. People shouldn't have to choose between basic necessities to live a decent life.
Around 500,000 people in British Columbia are challenged with a certain amount of food insecurity in their homes, and around 91,000 are faced with an alarming amount of food insecurity in their homes. According to British Columbia Centre for Disease Control, under the age of 18, 1 in 6 children reside in food insecure households. This is heartbreaking to think about.
COVID-19 has peeled back the curtain on on food security issues. According to the Couch and Green community, food security is achieved when all members of the community have access to enough nutritious, safe, ecologically sustainable, and culturally appropriate food at all times.
The charity unofficially began in 2001 with the help of a society called Couch and Green Door Society. However, in 2004, the charity began to bloom when they realized the importance of getting involved with the community. The Green community saw potential in changing how the Valley received fresh produce and found places to start their business. The Valley has been the charity's home since the very start, but they have moved to a few locations in Duncan throughout the years.
Couch and Green community has a goal of having everyone in the Cowichan Valley to have 3 healthy meals every day. And how they will accomplish this goal is by having lots of different meal programs to feed the people throughout the valley. These people are amazing and just want to make the valley a better place and to see more happy, healthy people.
There are 2 main programs in the Couch and Green community, the Food Recovery Project and the Refresh Marketplace. The Food Recovery Project has 2 main components. First, local grocery stores, such as Thrifties, donates any old food and produce. Then, Couch and Green community will sort through it, keeping everything that seems mostly good. After that, Couch and Green community will put the food in their store to sell at a cheaper price. For example, 1 apple equals 20 cents. Some of the food goes to their store, where they make meals. Some food goes to their kitchen, where they then make meals for their store, for Meals on Wheels, and for the men's home. The rest of the food goes to food banks, such as Nourish Cowichan.
The Refresh Marketplace store is where the other magic happens. In this program, participants are given a $25 coupon to spend on anything in the Marketplace store. Currently, there are 120 members.
When our group visited Cowichan Green community, we got to see the Refresh Marketplace in action. I got to buy a bunch of groceries for my dorm, and I was so excited about all the money that was now going towards the program. Denisha grabbed a soda and went to pay with her card, but because the total was under $5, she wasn't allowed to pay with her card. There was a man behind us, and a big smile appeared on his face. He said, "I can pay for that." Even though he was struggling himself with money, the coupon program gave him the ability to be comfortable with his money and to help others.
During our interview with some of the Cowichan Green community staff, we asked one question in particular that we really want to know. What would the Cowichan Green community do with the grant money if they won? As we explained earlier, one of the programs that the Cowichan Green community funds is the Refresh Coupon Program. The Refresh Coupon Program helps low-income individuals and families by giving them a $25 coupon to spend at the Refresh Cowichan Marketplace. The Cowichan Green community will put the money towards the Refresh Coupon Program to continue to provide for the people who use it, and for more to come. Now, we will play a short video and interview of some of the Cowichan Green community staff.
Cowichan Green community is filled with amazing people with huge hearts. They have goals that will need a lot of work, which they are willing to put in. One of their goals is to helping people who are in need of fresh, affordable produce. If we win, The prize money would be a huge contribution and would most likely be the reason the company is still going.
Even if we don't win the grant money for them, we still encourage you to help out. They're always accepting new volunteers and donations. Also, just by shopping at the Refresh Marketplace, you are helping to support them. You help to support their business, the ability to pay their employees, and to help up to 1,000 people per week.
Thank you.
That was a great presentation. Good job, everybody.
Up next, we have presentation number 3, the CTRA.
Sorry. 6.2 million people across Canada struggle with mobility affecting disabilities. That's 1 in every 10 Canadians. Now, as humans, running is one of the most liberating things we can experience. Imagine if that right was taken away from you by something you can't control. This is how our charity helps. Hi, I'm Ashley.
I'm Raelle.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Archie.
And our charity is the Couch and Therapeutic Riding Association, or CTRA. The Couch and Therapeutic Riding Association provides equine-based therapy for people with disabilities, both mental and physical. They promote and facilitate horses as a therapeutic alternative, recreational activity, and agent of well-being. Through human equine bonding, the Couch and Therapeutic Riding Association strives to bring communities together through the power of healing, inclusion, and human growth.
Many participants who go through the seizure program suffering from mood disorders or diseases are given something to look forward to through their pain. Spending time with the horses light up the darker parts of their days, tainted by bouts of depression and pain. Take this participant, for example, who's suffering from necrotizing fasciitis, a flesh-eating disease that went on to develop drop foot and extensive nerve damage, eventually rendering them unable to walk. I would like to take the time to thank the people responsible for putting joy, hope, and self-worth back into my life. A few things I thought I had lost forever. I'm, for the first time in a very long time, looking forward to the next day. And I do a lot of laughing and smiling. Less than 1 year of riding has done more than 5 years of physiotherapy. Pain and feelings of incompetency can feel impossible to overcome, but there's nothing more empowering than soaring when you could previously barely walk. And so here's a poem from my favorite client, John A. Davies. I cannot walk or run or play a game of tennis every day. I cannot dance or ride a bike. I'll never know what skating's like. I'll never sail the wind or surf or chase a ball across the turf, nor climb the snow-capped peaks above so many thrills I'll never love. But I can ride through forest trails and see the fox and rabbit tails and watch the ducks and geese take flight while leaping ducks and stags take fright. Yes, I enjoy the sport of kings. When carried high, my feet take wings to fly me on a pleasure course, for I can mount and ride a horse.
The Couch and Therapeutic Riding Association was founded by Jane James in 1986 as a branch of Pacific Riding for the Disabled, a Canada-wide therapeutic horse riding association. Originally, they were using borrowed horses at Fox Run Stables until, in 1988, they moved to their current location at Providence Farms, a therapeutic charity who do things like gardening, woodwork, and textile care. Since its creation, CTRA has been instrumental in the worldwide effort of helping disabled people do what they love, and during their 36-year-long run, they have helped people from not only all over Canada, but all over the world. Now, we would like to play a short video about CTRA's favorite horse, Ember.
The CTRA provides human instructors and machines to help familiarize their clients with the horses. From vaulting and balancing activities that develop strength and coordination, to learning to feed and care for the horses, to nurture social skills and empathy, or to compete as para-riders, each client is involved in a personalized programs for their specific needs and wants. Apart from the instructors who pace and plans their lesson accordingly, each they're also provided with accommodating equipment for physically impeding disabilities. For example, for people who are in wheelchairs, there is a ramp and lift to help them mount the horses, or a softer saddle for people with cerebral palsy. From learning to mount the horses, to walking on obstacles and through trails, or running in the open field, they all help stimulate balance, independence, and empathy invaluably. Hung up on the stables are countless illustrations drawn by the younger participants for their favorite horses. The Norwegian fjords that roam on the open field are bred to be especially open, friendly, and patient to all clients. They are sturdy enough to take on all weights and sizes, steady enough to take on any temperament, but most importantly, there is an unshakable bond between the clients and the horses, nurtured by the joy with what time they spend with each other.
Though it can take a lot of work and effort, being a volunteer can be incredibly helpful. It doesn't matter where you started, where you are now, it helps. Volunteer activities include tending to the horses, feeding them, cleaning them, helping new riders, guiding instructors, and running the tack shop. Being a volunteer in the moment can be quite challenging, but signing up is incredibly simple. All you have to do is go to ctra.ca, and it helps immensely.
Now it's time to answer the big question. Why does our amazing charity need the money despite how successful we are? 2 words, government funding. As we all know, many charities are funded and facilitated by the government. But unbeknownst to most people, government-sponsored charities can often be biased and cater to government clients. This is not their fault, but so that the CTRA can reach and help the most amount of people possible, they cannot rely on government funding. On average, the CTRA has to earn $500,000 just to keep the place afloat. Horses aren't cheap, but charities like CTRA couldn't just stop helping their clients based upon government funding restrictions. If we were to win the $5,000 grant, the money would go to bringing in more clients to help, nurturing the horses in a better environment, such as getting them better food, and hiring more trainers, which in turn would provide more activities for their clients.
We would like to thank the Therapeutic Riding Association for allowing us to tour their facilities and for answering our questions.
We would also like to thank the META teachers for allowing us to participate in this amazing experience.
And finally, we would like to thank Ember the horse for biting some sense into Ian.
Speaking of me, you can now enter online for a new raffle that you can win a quad bike through, coming in 3 exciting new colors, blue, black, and orange.
Not only would you be supporting the Couch and Therapeutic Riding Association, you can also win a quad bike. Imagine you riding a new whip around school. You'd be the coolest person on campus. Sorry, Mr. McGuigan's mustache, you've been replaced.
Remember, go to www.ctra.ca to enter for the raffle today.
Once again, we'd like to say thank you to the CTRA and the META teachers for allowing us to partake in this incredible experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of you. That was a really great presentation.
Sit tight because here comes the fourth presentation, Warmland.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Georgia St. Germain, and I'm here with Alicia Putworthen and Daniel Ma to speak to you about our charity of choice, Warmland Housing Shelter.
A mental health disorder is classified as a significant disturbance in a person's cognition or emotional regulation. A physical disorder is classified as any type of physical condition which significantly impacts one or more major life activities. Unfortunately, this is something that many people worldwide have to deal with on a daily basis. Let's demonstrate.
Raise your hand if you know someone who struggles with a mental or physical disability. Worldwide, approximately 1 in every 8 people suffer from a mental health disorder, and 1 in every 14 people suffer from a physical disability. To put that in perspective, about 970 million people suffer from a mental health disorder, and 349 million people suffer from a physical disability.
Let's scale that down. Approximately 1 in 5 Canadians suffer from a mental health disorder, and similarly, 1 in 5 Canadians suffer from a physical disability. In BC alone, 1 in 5, or 900,000 people, suffer from a mental health disorder, and 1 in 7, or 546,760 people, suffer from a physical disability. In today's world, living with these burdens can lead to serious effects, such as discrimination, unemployment due to discrimination, and homelessness.
Now, raise your hand if you've ever seen or known someone who is homeless. Worldwide, approximately 150 million people are homeless, while 1.6 billion people live in inadequate shelter. In Canada, 235,000 people are homeless, 8,600 of which live in BC. And in Cowichan Valley, a place that many of us call home, 129 people live without one. Have you ever wondered how they got there and where they will go?
Scams, extortion, addiction, mental and or physical disabilities, and discrimination are only a few causes that can lead to homelessness. Take Boyd Van Conet. For example, he moved to Vancouver Island in hopes of finding a job and a home, but unfortunately, he was not able to. He had to sleep in a tent near Lake Cowichan, unable to find a source of stable income, and was unable to buy medicine for his back injury. Fortunately, he found Warmland Housing Shelter.
Warmland Housing Shelter is a Canada Revenue Agency certified charity that provides not only a place to stay for individuals who are homeless or suffer from a mental or physical disability, but also offer programs to help people get a stable income and improve their quality of life and their health. And through Warmland's Moving Forward program, Boyd was able to get the medical attention needed, and he got a job while living in a transitional apartment.
Unfortunately, many people in Boyd's position are unable to find help. Homelessness is a vicious cycle. To go from being homeless to finding a stable income, a job, and a place to stay is an extremely long and difficult process. We, in the Safety of Brentwood's campus, can't possibly imagine what these people have gone through. We have become desensitized to something we shouldn't have. So how can we help, and what can we do?
At Warmland, their mission is to have mentally healthy people in a healthy society. They want to maintain and improve mental health and community integration, build resilience, and support recovery from mental illness. They do this through their various programs, including, but not limited to, Bounce Back for Adults, Moving Forward, and the Sexual Abuse Intervention Program. They also have side programs for the people who stay at Warmland, including the Guarding and Sharps program.
The Bounce Back for Adults program is a program that provides shelter to homeless individuals who are looking for an apartment and a job, and helps them get a jump start on breaking their cycle. It helps them step into a stable income, independent living, and a better overall quality of life.
The Moving Forward program helps individuals set and achieve goals that they make for themselves and by themselves. When we spoke to Braden, our main contact from the charity, he recounted a story of an individual whose main goal was to fix their damaged teeth. Through the Moving Forward program, they were able to find a job, an apartment, and pay for their own medical bill.
Lastly, the Sexual Abuse Intervention Program, a part of their counseling program, which is designed for children and youth up to age 19 who have experienced sexual assault or abuse. They participate in counseling sessions, which are with a therapist who's individualized to the client. All three of these programs are amazing examples of what Warmland has to offer. But there are many more that aim to help everyone from all backgrounds and all ages.
So how is the donated money allocated at Warmland? According to Braden, money donated can help the shelter get more beds for the people who need it and improve certain facilities to benefit the people at the shelter. On their website, you can donate to a specific program of your choice or just donate generally. If you do that, your money will go to wherever it is currently needed most at the shelter. And as of now, Warmland has 30 shelter beds, 24 transitional apartments, a common room, kitchen, dining room, and offices. Laundry and shower facilities are provided, and they have a physician and counselor on site weekly.
Although Warmland Housing Shelter receives government-funded money, $5,000 would be a huge help in expanding their current programs, buying more daily beds, and expanding their transitional apartments. It would also help them expand their current staffing, which sits at around 90 full-time employees. However, with a growing influx of homeless individuals, there comes a need for a growing influx of full-time employees. It would additionally help them expand their intoxication facility, which is a safe place for people under the influence of drugs or alcohol to sober up quickly. And lastly, it could help them expand their side programs, such as the gardening and the Sharps program, which gives homeless individuals staying at Warmland a thing to do. It gives them something to focus on and put effort into.
We chose Warmland because of their inclusivity. It doesn't matter who you are or where you've come from, Warmland will take you in and give you a place to go. Even if you're not homeless, Warmland can still help. They provide counseling sessions for those who have gone through traumatic experiences, such as verbal or physical abuse, sexual assault, excessive bullying, and much more.
They help those with physical and mental disabilities recover and offer them a place to stay if they are unable to find one for themselves. At Warmland, it doesn't matter your age, gender, sexuality, or race. They can help you.
Above all else, Warmland is about people who care. It is a team that brings community, compassion, and empathy to those who live there. They bring hope every single day to some of the most vulnerable people in Cowichan Valley. Here, you can see just one of the many meals being prepared for the residents. Here, you can see a snowman that was made by the residents just last winter. Warmland has a sense of togetherness, and everyone there looks out for each other. Understanding and helping solve the problems presented by homelessness and its causes is the first step in a long line of steps towards a mentally healthy society with mentally healthy people.
Even if we are unable to win the $5,000 for Warmland, we still implore you to take a look at their website and consider donating to their wonderful and impactful cause. You can contact them directly by phone or through the Cowichan Mental Health Association.
Thank you for your time.
And I love how you guys can see how much time and effort these groups have put into their presentations. And I hope you guys are learning lots about the charities in our community.
And last but certainly not least, we have the Cowichan Intercultural Society.
Before we get started, hear this story out. An immigrant in Canada was sponsored by family members that harassed and verbally abused him and forced him to work for pay below minimum wage. These sponsors opened credit cards in his name without his knowledge, putting him into severe debt and eventually kicked him out of the house. As a result of language barrier, unacquaintance to law, and inability to find help, he turned to suicide. This is a true story, and it's the sad reality of what millions and millions of immigrants throughout the world are facing right now. Good evening to all the teachers, judges, families who are joining us online, and all the fellow students. My name is Miranda.
And I am Justin.
I'm Christian.
Canada has a long history of immigration. Immigrants make up our country. Millions of people from all over the world have chosen and continue to choose Canada as their new home. Immigration currently drives 82% of Canada's population growth, and by 2030, immigration could add 5 million workers to the labor market. However, discrimination and racism is still a big problem in the Cowichan region.
In June of this year, the Cowichan Intercultural Society, in collaboration with Western University, conducted a first-of-its-kind study on discrimination and marginalization in the Cowichan Valley, surveying 637 community members. The survey gives information on the Cowichan residents' lived experiences with discrimination, sense of belonging, and attitudes towards immigration.
And according to survey data, respondents who identify as immigrants, minorities, or indigenous reported an extremely high rates of experience with discrimination, 86% to 99%. Unaffordable housing and underemployment are key issues for immigrants in BC. Immigrants come to BC for economic reasons. They want jobs, and they want to have a house. Carlos Texiera, a professor with the Department of Geography at UBC, said the ultimate goal for most immigrants is to own a dwelling.
However, Texiera conducted an interview with 176 new immigrants in the Metro Vancouver area and found that 40% spent almost half of their income on housing. Immigrants also face challenges accessing jobs that correspond to their skill and education because of their credentials are not often recognized in Canada, which forces them to take lower paying jobs and unsuitable jobs.
Canada is one of the fastest growing nations in immigration. However, many newcomers reported lack of help. Immigrants in Canada have reported having limited connections to Canada's resources, access to public services, and social programs that could assist them to navigate the Canadian system and solve their problems.
Furthermore, undocumented immigrants are not eligible to receive welfare funds from the government. This implies that many newly arrived immigrants struggle to adjust to the life in Canada and cannot purchase basic essentials.
Now we are going to introduce an organization that works tirelessly in raising awareness about racism and discrimination and offer help to all the problems we mentioned above.
The Cowichan Intercultural Society. The Cowichan Intercultural Society is a registered charitable organization in Canada that has been serving the Cowichan Valley since 1981 and assisted over 12,000 immigrants from all over the world in integrating into the new country by creating an inclusive and welcoming environment. Currently, CIS has over 18 active community service programs, 12 board members, 26 staff members that can speak more than 11 languages, and more than 150 volunteers. CIS is the leading community resource in immigrant settlement service and for education and awareness in developing a truly multicultural community.
The charity's aim is to support newcomers to Canada in their successful integration into the Cowichan Valley and to assist our community in embracing diversity, developing intercultural understanding. Their vision is a welcoming community in which everyone feels included and can participate to their full potential. Their three main values are inclusion, respect, and empowerment. It all began in 1981, when a significant number of Vietnamese refugees arrived in the Cauchan Valley. A group of dedicated women that simply wanted to help formed the Cauchan Valley Intercultural and Immigrant Aid Society. They work to help immigrants and refugees settlements and to promote a diverse culture. Others spend their time teaching cross-cultural understanding in schools and at community events across Cauchan region. This is the first CIS English graduating class.
In 1982, federal funding and charitable status was given to them. Many things have changed in the 40 years from CVIIAS to CIS. New activities and programs are being developed. But their dedication, continuous hard work, and passion never wavered.
Language barrier, lack of access to public services and social programs, finding affordable housing, finding a job, overcoming homesickness, and learning about the culture and history can all be difficult tasks for immigrants to any country. The Intercultural Society provides essential services ranging from educational classes to healthcare, from solving immediate problems to long-term challenges in order to help the immigrants to successfully integrate into the community.
Language instructors for newcomers to Canada, also known as the LINK program, helps tackle the immediate and most common issue for all immigrants, the language barrier.
All of the English programs in the organization teach real-world English by certified instructors and volunteers that can be used in our daily life, such as navigating the Canadian society, finding a job, and further education.
The classes are small and have a low student-teacher ratio to create a comfortable environment where students can receive individualized support.
Another English program is the English Language Mentoring. This program offers one-on-one learning environments for adult students to facilitate social, cultural, economic, and political integration. What makes it different from other programs is that not only they teach English, but also take the students to do different activities. For example, cooking, creating art, and grocery shopping. These activities help students familiarize with the Canadian culture, the surrounding area, and also allows them to form new friendships.
CIS is an expert in employment because they are attentive to client requirements, have a solid grasp of the challenges that immigrants experience, and have the connections to assist and mitigate some of these barriers. Over the last year, CIS has provided insightful and welcoming job assistance to over 116 individuals. More than 92% of these clients are employed today.
Furthermore, CIS offers individualized employment support, simply from writing a resume and cover letter to more complex assistance such as job referrals, interview preparation, and educating the immigrants about the Canadian working culture. Here's a picture of a guest speaker discussing the Canadian working culture in CIS.
CIS also provides childcare services for immigrant children that are rich in material and possible for kids to think, discover, learn, and unlock their potentials. The charity has a unique playground that is surrounded by a hand-sculptured and community-built cobwall. Here are some pictures we took during the interview. Here are other areas the organization helped with the clients, finding a place to live, register children in school, and find a family doctor.
The funds for CIS comes from government funding, partnership with local businesses, individual donation, and fundraising events. The donation button can be found at the top of their website, and you can choose to donate to specific programs. All the funds collected will be entirely used to promote anti-racism in the Cauchan Valley. The funds are used for standard programs such as English classes and settlement services, and they're also used for fun activities like family fun nights, Duncan Parade, and Halloween parties. Staff members also travel to schools in the Cauchan Valley region to raise awareness about anti-racism.
CIS values volunteers' contributions to make the various programs possible. If you are interested in becoming a volunteer, fill out the form on their website. Sponsoring a refugee is also a great help. At the Cowichan Intercultural Society, there are many options for volunteering, such as English language mentoring, fundraising, joining a community, and more.
How has the society affected the clients? According to annual report from 2019 to 2020, they served more than 450 clients, helped over 100 language learners, assisted 95 clients to find a job, and matched 38 students with tutors.
Ana Alicia Perez Pino was originally from Cuba. She came to Duncan 6 years ago. She knew nothing about Canada and couldn't speak English at the time. She mentioned that she not only learned English in the class, but also learned about Canadian culture and how to adapt to a new country.
CIS also helped her to prepare a resume, something she could not have done on her own. Staff members also taught her how to prepare for an interview and help her with all the necessary paperwork.
When she was asked to describe CIS in one word, she said trust. She stated that she felt welcomed here. They are always supporting and encouraging me, she stated in the interview, and they are always there to answer your inquiries.
Grant money. If we win YPI, we want to donate our money to help sponsor refugees for Ukraine's current refugee crisis. The Ukrainian crisis resulted in a large influx of refugees to CIS. We want to put money into establishing a new mental health support group and hiring a counselor for them, because mental health of immigrants and refugees is frequently ignored and neglected. We think that mental health is equally important as our physical health.
Refugees are more likely to suffer from mental health issues, such as depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We want to invest money on making a safe and comfortable atmosphere in which they can receive the assistance they require. Long-term impact on the refugee mental health as they are integrating into the new country.
And if the money and time it costs to establish something like this outweighs the money we give, we could donate the money to CIS core activities like English classes and events that are not sponsored by the federal government. This will have an immediate impact on enriching the newcomers' experience and possibly allowing more people to join. $5,000 might not be enough, but we have great ambition to make CIS the best place it can be. The changing community. In recent years, the efforts of society have begun to drive enormous change in the community. Other organizations begun to approach CIS with the intention to provide more opportunities for newcomers and immigrants.
Additionally, people in the community all wanted to help out the Ukrainian refugees from the war this summer. The Ukrainian Welcome Program was run by members of the community during the summer. Cowichan Valley Heritage Quilters made quilts for Ukrainians, and many volunteers offered to take the refugees to their English class. Think about the story we mentioned at the beginning. If an easily accessible and well-developed organization like the Cowichan Intercultural Society was there to help him with housing, employment, and emotional support, will the story end differently?
Organizations like CIS are people that work hard to prevent these tragedies from happening. They are the people that are helping immigrants, families, to find their place in the new country. They are the people that are truly driving change by cultivating a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community. They are the people that are making our community and our country a better place to live. And we are a passionate group of Brentwood students that truly wants to help. Our presentation is not perfect, but we care. Let's all join this journey. Helping the immigrants in our country means helping our country. Thank you.
Thank you.
For tonight. Can we get one more big round of applause, please?
right, so the judges are making their way out of the audience space, and everyone can just get up.
In the meantime,
stretch.
Yeah, have some time to stretch, and then we're going to play a video for you.
Get up.
And I know that love is just a shout into the void, and that oblivion is inevitable, and that we're all doomed, and that one day all of our labor will be returned to dust. And I know that the sun will swallow the only earth we will ever have. And I am in love with you. Sorry.
I remember the suspense of this part, so we're just going to drag it out like a little longer.
We've got some people to thank. Huge shout out to Ms. Plow and Mr. Minkler for their incredible support in the theater, and another thank you to all of the judges. Could we please get a big round of applause for them?
And now the judges may come on stage to present the winner.
Okay, firstly, and we're going to take our time here to draw it out. I'd just like to thank everyone who's not only come tonight, but presented. It takes a lot of bravery to come up here, present to your peers, and we all love watching them, so thank you very much.
It.
Come on. Yeah, okay.
It has no doubt been quite a tricky decision, and you all did amazingly. And Daniel and I were in a group in grade 9, and we did not like each other at all. And now we've turned out to be very close friends, so the project does work in more ways than one. Do you want to announce it?
Yeah, sure. Well, the group that we ended up choosing was very well balanced. We felt as if they had great personal examples. We really felt connected to the material, and their presentation was very encouraging.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, drum roll, please. So the winner of YPI 2022 is the Couch and Green community.
Please can they come on stage and get their check?
Okay, we gotta present it to them. Yeah,
It's
okay.
a great photo opportunity.
Come on,
so
guys.
please
Yeah.
get up here.
Yeah. Woo! I feel like we need to get out of their photo. I feel like we get out of their photo.
We'll leave you be now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello.
Congratulations. Before we leave, we'd just like to say two more little thank yous. Firstly, to the audience, thank you so much for coming out and showing your support. It's greatly appreciated.
Yay. And then one final applause for all the grade 9s for all their time and effort this past month and representing their charities so well. Yay. And then if the winners, you guys can stay behind, and then the rest of you, have a good night. Bye. Okay, everyone who presented, stay behind. And judges. Good night, guys.